They called me crazy when I exposed them. But when the whole town's secrets went online, they finally realized I wasn't the villain. I was the reckoning. The wrench slipped from my hands and hit the concrete with a sound that punched the quiet. 11:47 p.m. Grease still under my nails like a war trophy. My phone lit up against the toolbox. Dr. Martinez, Harbor Health Clinic. Your test results came back positive for chlamydia. I dropped the wrench. That's impossible, I said, wiping my hands on the legs of my coveralls. I've been married 18 years. I'm sorry, Eddie. The tests don't lie. You'll need to inform your partner and come in for treatment. Celia was out of town again. Third trip this month. The note on the kitchen counter had read, "Gone for the weekend. Don't wait up. Love, C." The handwriting had been rushed. Guilty. The pieces slid into place with the cold certainty of a puzzle I'd been too blind to see. I called Tank at the gym. "You awake?" I asked. He answered, "Christ, it's midnight." I told him I needed a PI. "Frankie Duca," he said. "Ex-cop. Good nose for things people want hidden. You sure you want to go down that road?" he asked. I was already walking it. Frankie met me at Rosie's diner at dawn. Stubbled, rumpled. The look of a man who'd watched too many people fall apart. He handed me an envelope at the marina. Photos, DVDs, receipts. The first showed Celia at the Seaside Motel with Grant Holman. Grant, the Golden Boy insurance man married to Susan from the animal shelter. Then more. Tom Bradley from the bank, Dr. Peterson from our own clinic. All respectable. All married. Frankie dropped the rest like a bomb. "Mona Pierce has been filming some of this," he said. Mona, the Pilates instructor, the social butterfly who'd been in our living room more times than I could count, smiling while she stabbed me in the back. Why would she film it? Blackmail, kicks, power. Some people collect other people's ruin like trophies. My town, Harbor View, had been my life. 43 years. I fixed cars, coached Little League, paid my taxes. I thought I was respected. Turns out I was the last to find out I'd been the punchline. I printed the photos on glossy paper, laminated the worst texts, and went to work like a man clearing brush. Kitchen cabinets, bathroom mirrors, the fridge. Every surface in the house became a gallery of betrayal. I staked photos on poster boards across the front lawn, hung explicit texts from the bedroom fan. When Celia's BMW pulled into the drive, neighbors gathered on porches and sidewalks, phones out, whispering. Her scream cut through the street. I sat in my truck and drove away. Tank let me crash on the couch above the gym. Sweat, leather, and the predictable comfort of men who say less and respect more. The paper the next morning called it a local scandal. My phone filled up. Calls from Celia, my son Jack, my daughter Lucy. Their voicemails went from pleading to angry. "Dad, what the heck is wrong with you?" Lucy cried. "You're pathetic," Jack said. Those stung. My kids, choosing their mother over me, drew a hard line in the sand. This was no longer just about Celia. Grant called me and asked to meet. Pier 7, he said. I walked up to his boat, Golden Dreams. Everything about him polished and sunburnished. He tried to reason, offered me that easy excuse about loneliness and attention. I'd busted my back for that house and those cars. I coached, I fixed things, I stayed faithful. When he tried to make me feel responsible, something hot and violent lit inside me. I grabbed him, slammed him against the hull, and told him what I thought. Stay away. Tell everyone she pursued you, or I'd make sure the world saw the rest of his life. Frankie's investigation peeled back another ugly layer. Mona wasn't just a voyeur, she was a spider at the center of a web. Couples swapping partners at private parties, town leaders, the country club crowd, even people on the council. She collected footage, receipts, favors, information as currency. Frankie found her pattern. Monica Kowalski. A name and a life that moved from scandal to fresh soil and then to power. The files in her safety deposit box read like a litany. Photos, videos, payments. The names of men who'd taken her money and their secrets in exchange. Then I saw what mattered most. Why this had been aimed at me. There was a folder with my name on it and clippings from 12 years ago. My testimony in a domestic violence case. I'd told the truth and helped put a man away. Mona had been waiting. Her revenge had been patient, surgical, and practiced. Anger rippled into action. For 3 days I copied everything. DVDs, photos, bank records. I set up anonymous emails and sent packets of dirt to the local paper, State AG, the FBI, the IRS. I plastered flyers across town and paid a kid at the community college to build a site, Harbor View Secrets. Every piece of her collection lived there within hours. The town woke up to itself. The fallout was immediate. Some people wanted to burn me in effigy. Others wanted to shake my hand. The library of secrets forced confessions, resignations, and what felt like a rerouting of every quiet, immoral current in town. Tank met me in the parking lot with a bat and a grin. "Half the town wants to lynch you," he said. "The other half wants to buy you a beer." The annual fall festival stayed on the calendar. Normality as theater. I paid a DJ $1,000 to let me speak. At 2 in the afternoon, I climbed the bandstand. Hundreds of faces turned toward me. Neighbors, clients, people I'd fixed transmissions for, parents I'd coached. Celia was there with Mona, trying to look unaffected. I walked to the mic. "People of Harborview," I said, "there is a woman who's been destroying this town from within. Her name is Monica Kowalski, Mona Pierce. She's been blackmailing leaders, controlling courts, and turning neighbors into enemies." I laid out what I knew, and then I held up a DVD. "Copies have been sent to the FBI and the state police," I told them. The crowd shuddered between cheers and screams. Mona moved toward the edge of the crowd and, for the first time, she didn't look in control. Men who'd hidden in plain sight started to close in. Then Grant charged. Tom Bradley and Dr. Peterson followed. The park turned to chaos. I met every swing like a man who'd had everything taken. Punches landed, men fell, phones recorded, the moments streamed. The mob was combustible. Some wanted blood, some wanted explanation. Most wanted to see the unmasking completed in public. Mona shrank. For 12 years she'd worn a practiced smile that hid a bitter, patient mind. "You destroyed my life first," she spat at me. "You sent the father of my children to prison." I told the truth. He deserved prison. She'd chosen a vendetta and then weaponized the town. Police sirens sliced the air. Within hours, agents arrived. Not just local cops, but federal investigators digging into paper trails and recordings. The files from the safety deposit box proved deeper than lusty affairs. They revealed payoffs, evidence tampering, tax irregularities. It was bigger than small-town gossip. Criminal. I walked to the edge of the crowd and found Celia standing with our kids. Lucy was sobbing. Jack avoided my eyes. My wife had been hollowed out by months of shame and exposure, years of manipulation and revenge. "I'm sorry it had to be this way," I told her. "But I'm not sorry I did it." She looked older by a decade and nodded, tears cutting clean paths down her face. "I know," she said. "I'm the one who should be sorry." An FBI agent texted me later. "Agent Sarah Chen, we'd like to speak with you about testifying." I typed back, "Happy to help." Justice had become what I understood best. Driving out of Harbor Park, past the news vans and the crowd still shouting at each other, I heard them call me a villain on the broadcast. I let them. Villains hide corruption and profit from it. I'd sacrificed a life for a truth that had to be told. The town had been sick. I'd burned out the infection. Maybe I'd been messy and brutal in the doing. Maybe I'd lost everything in the process. But when the dust settled, secrets didn't look like protection anymore. They looked like chains. I didn't expect to be the hero. I wasn't sure I'd ever be forgiven. But as the sirens faded behind me and the harbor disappeared in the rearview, I felt lighter than I had in years. I had been wronged, and I had fought back. The wreckage was still smoking. But for the first time in a long while, I had the truth.